Hey, we're going to be going live here, talking about the week 2 of the free data engineering bootcamp. In that week, we covered fact data modeling. There's a couple different things in the fact data modeling course, right? One is we talk initially just about the traditional Kimball data model and how to create facts and dimensions. And then we also talk about the powerful dateless data structure and the blurry lines between fact and dimension. And then the third class, last but not least, we talk about reduced facts and how to supercharge your long-term analyses by making your data a little bit smaller. And that is really what we've been doing over the last week. Tomorrow, we will be releasing the Spark Week. Spark Week should be really awesome. I can tell it's really highly anticipated. There's going to be 3 different videos there for Spark. So it's going to be pretty great. I am going to be taking some questions here. If y'all have any questions about the bootcamp, Black Friday, because we are doing a Black Friday sale right now on Data Expert. You can go to dataexpert.io and you can see the Black Friday deals. You can get 30% off right now. It's pretty awesome. It's a pretty good deals. Like definitely, this is going to be the best deal of the year. I don't really offer more than 30% off ever. So this is definitely if you want to get in, this is the way to get in. Welcome everyone to the live. I will be answering any questions y'all have. I'm here for about an hour, maybe a little bit longer. I want to be talking a little bit more about the January bootcamp as well. I am in the final stages of talks with Databricks to be able to get some credits so that we can have the Databricks as part of the January bootcamp. So we'll have Databricks and Snowflake in the January bootcamp. It should be pretty great. So I'll be moving a lot of the content from AWS Glue onto Databricks. So it should be pretty great. I'm really excited about that. I would say, will the bootcamp include a capstone project? The free bootcamp does not. The paid bootcamp does have a capstone project. Hey, I'll be ready to join the bootcamp in the next 2 weeks when I get my paycheck. Will spots still be available? Maybe, maybe. Is there any plan for paid bootcamp in the spring? Maybe. I hope so. I want to be able to get to a point where I don't feel like there's such a big lift. There's such a big lift after that. So yeah, 100%. Like I think that's definitely something that could be in the cards, right? I'm really excited about that. Right? I'm looking for a good deal. Yeah, I mean right now, dataexpert.io is where you can get a really great deal. If you use the Black Friday code, that can get you 30% off. And so definitely I would recommend checking that out. But yeah, if you guys have any other questions about the bootcamp, right? Is it still possible to catch up with the free bootcamp and get in line with 4 hours a day of work? Yeah, for sure. I'm not releasing that much content, right? How do we join groups in the free data engine bootcamp, right? So if you are in the free data engine bootcamp, you need to join bootcamp.techcreator.io. That is going to be where you go to join the free bootcamp. And then like I do not assign groups in the free bootcamp. That is one of the things that I did that. When is the free bootcamp starting? It has already started. We are already 2 weeks deep. You can go through it. How many bootcamps are you having per year? I shoot for 2, maybe 3. 30% off what amount? 2,500. So the paid bootcamp is like 1750, which is a great deal, by the way. That's like for the 6 weeks of content and the mentorship and everything. Like if you do everything, like if you get certified and you and you win the mentorship at the end and everything, like I don't really make money. I make like $100 or $200 from you, right? So like, it's actually a pretty great deal for the 1,700 that you end up paying. But yeah, so you can check it out at dataexpert.io. You can also get the subscription product. Is the paid bootcamp refundable before start date? No, it's not. So how it works is in the first week after buying, I can give you 75% back. In the second week, I can give you 50% back, and then 3 weeks deep, it's non-refundable. Yep. Would it be worthy to get these data engineer knowledge as a software engineer? Yeah, data engineering is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. 100%. That is definitely what's happening, and I think that's one of the things that you can be thinking about, being a data-focused software engineer is one way that you can make a lot of money. That's what I did. That was my path forward. Right? How do I access the bootcamp stuff? It's just, I mean, people just like. It's right here. Just go here and go to lessons. There should be, if you sign up, you're in the dashboard, and then there's like how to view my lessons, and then you can see everything. That's exactly where you go. Bootcamp.techcreator.io. It's Definitely check that out. Yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome. I'm really excited for the January bootcamp. January bootcamp's going to be great. For the paid bootcamp, is there support for getting a data engineering internship in any way, assuming you do all the work? So if you do all of the work, then you get you'll be assigned a mentor where you'll get five. So if you do like all the homework, you attend all the classes, and you do a capstone project, that is going to be the way to get assigned a mentor. Will an exact cert really impress an employer? No, my bootcamp's a piece of shit. So yeah, 100%. Like that's go take AWS then. Go take AWS if you want to go learn how to do things, but not why you should do something. Right? Yeah, that's what AWS is all about. Like they'll teach you how to do something, but not why. Right? And so that's going to be the big difference. Like, yeah, you learn more of the fundamentals with my stuff, but yeah, I'm also super new. 100%. But yeah, you can talk shit. That's fine. How important SQL in data engineering world? It's the most important thing in the world. Hi, Zach, I'm new. Is the free bootcamp can land a job? Maybe. Like, it all depends on where you're at. If you have no data engineering skills, you take my bootcamp, my free bootcamp, you probably won't get a job, right? Is it okay to add the free bootcamp certification on the resume? Yes, of course. I would love it if you did that. How do you stream? How do you live stream to multiple platforms at the same time? I use a tool called Restream. Restream, it allows me to stream to as many platforms as I want. So there's I can stream to Twitter, I can stream to YouTube, I can stream to LinkedIn. I used to stream to Facebook and Instagram and all these other things as well, but I only do 3 now. I do LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube now, right? Will there be a capstone project for the free bootcamp? No, go build your own capstone project. Like, I'm not going to give you a capstone project. Just, you can learn how to do that. Like, I give you all the skills and you can do it yourself, right? 100%. Do you plan to make your own startup business or no need in your opinion? I already have a startup business. It's literally what I do every single day, right? Will you have future bootcamps on analytics engineering? The January bootcamp is going to be covering Snowflake and DBT. So you can do that one. What's your opinion on data warehouse platforms like Redshift, BigQuery, and Snowflake? They're very important. They allow the data engineers to big compute frameworks to be more accessible to people. Like, because Spark is kind of intimidating, and I find that these platforms are more accessible. It's like, if you know SQL, you can leverage the power of distributed compute, which I think is really awesome. Along with the content, mentorship, and interview knowledge is a long-term game. Definitely weighing in on buying. And how long is the Black Friday sale? Till Tuesday, December 3rd, I think. December 3rd is the last day that you can buy. Yeah, it's the best deal that you'll be able to get. When is the paid bootcamp starting? January 6th. January 6th. It's the New Year, New Me bootcamp, right? So, like, really, I put out a challenge on November 15th where it's like, if you go through all of the free bootcamp and then you do all of the paid bootcamp, in the middle of February, you will be a very, very, very strong engineer. You will be a very strong engineer. So, like, highly recommend that. I did work in Snowflake. Would you recommend to learn DBT? Yes. Snowflake plus DBT is a very, very marketable skill. That's something where you can make a lot of money, right? For sure. And that's going to be, that modern data stack skill set is very, very good, right? Can you tell the best tech stack for ingestion, warehouse, transformation, orchestration, metadata governance? There's no such thing as best. I hate the word best. Best is not a real thing. There's so many different technologies that you could possibly use. Maybe you use Databricks, maybe you use Snowflake, maybe you use freaking Redshift, maybe you use Hadoop, maybe you use SQL Server. Like, there's so many different ways to do it, right? Finding free bootcamp difficult, but I am not giving up. Does it make sense to go for January bootcamp now or wait for the next one? I mean, if you are having a hard time with the free bootcamp, it's probably not a good fit. That's probably the way I think about it. No more analytics and infrastructure track difference. I got rid of that. It's complicated. It's something that, like, really freaking overcomplicates things. And it's like, if you want to do the bootcamp, you should just do all of it, right? 100%. Like, I'm only offering one track. It's not worth it. It's not worth it to me to, like, add that overhead, right? That's a big thing, right? Will the bootcamp cover any orchestration tool? Thank you for the free content in advance. The free bootcamp or the paid bootcamp? The paid bootcamp already covers a lot of that. We cover, we're going to be covering Airflow and probably Databricks workflows. Those are the two that we're going to cover in the paid bootcamp. Definitely Airflow, maybe Databricks workflows. Hello, Zach. Thanks for the amazing content. I have a question. What are your thoughts on Microsoft's latest innovation in Fabric? I think Fabric is like, it's like diet Databricks. It's like, imagine if you took Databricks and made it terrible, and that's what Fabric is. don't know. That's my perspective on Fabric. I don't really have a great view of Fabric. I think that it's not like that technology is like they're just trying to compete there because they're Microsoft and they're like, we're a $3 trillion company. We can be Databricks too. And it's like, no, you can't. Like, no, you can't, bro. Like, no, you can't. Like, I'm looking for a switch from backend engineering to data engineering and considering this bootcamp as a stepping stone. That's a great, if you know SQL and Python, if you already know SQL and Python, then you are going to be a great fit for the data engineering bootcamp, I think, right? How do you see data engineering role evolving in the next few years? A couple things. I think there's going to be a push for more business-oriented data engineers. So that's why like the birth of the analytics engineer, I think, is freaking very important. And then on the other side, there's going to be more data engineers that get pushed into platform. So like the data platform engineer, like the data engineer, software engineer hybrid, those people are also going to be in big demand. I think that both of those are going to be super important. On the other side, like, you know, data engineering with unstructured data is obviously going to get bigger and bigger and bigger because of the fact that like LLMs make it a lot easier to like process, you know, unstructured data, because now you can just pump a video through a freaking LLM and you can get a lot of like tabular data out of it, which is pretty cool. It's pretty cool. And I think that that's going to be something that will keep going. I think that like it's one of those things that data engineers are going to have to get used to because we're so used to having deterministic pipelines. That's like, I mean, I teach about that. I'm sure y'all remember in week 1, the idempotent pipeline, where it's like your pipeline should produce the same results every time you run it. Like that's like a big thing. That's a very valuable thing in data engineering. And like, that's where LLMs are kind of like the opposite of that, right? Because they freaking are like, I'm going to produce whatever result I want. I'm going to do whatever the hell I want, right? And it's like kind of crazy. So I think that there's a lot that's going to happen in data engineering over the little bit, right? If I subscribe to the monthly self-paced, will I have access to entire content or is it phased on a monthly basis? I'm looking for 3 months only. You get access to everything that's there right now. Yeah, it's like you get access to like it's all access. That's what it's called, all access subscription, right? So you get access to all the content that's on the platform right now. So there's not any let me try to say here. There's not any of the analytics engineering bootcamp in there yet. It's all the V4, the bootcamp that I did in May. That is the content that is currently in the all access subscription. So I signed up for the on-demand bootcamp about 4 to 5 months ago, still going through that. How is the January bootcamp different? The January bootcamp is going to be using a lot more platforms. Like we're going to be using Databricks and Snowflake a lot more. And like we use some platforms in the on-demand bootcamp, like we use Glue and we use Astronomer and stuff like that. But these are going to be using other ones, right? Are you a fan of Snowflake? Why Snowflake? Why not Databricks? I literally just said we're going to do both. I've used Dataflow and Apache Beam. I'm looking to switch to Apache Spark. My strength is SQL, considering this bootcamp as the first step. Yeah, that's great. What is the website for the bootcamp? So this is the website. That's where you can go, right? Dude, how do you avoid being burnt out? Your content style and hard work is unreal. So, I mean, I've been balancing stuff. Well, one of the things right now is like, the effort for releasing all this content isn't very high for me actually, right? Because all this content is already filmed, right? The entire bootcamp's already filmed, right? The free bootcamp, it's already filmed. All I'm doing right now is filming like intros, and that's it. And that's what I'm doing. And it's like, that's a big part of it. Burnout is definitely something I experience. I get depressed and anxious and all that stuff a lot. That's a big thing that like for me, where especially right now, I'm kind of at that higher end of like stressed because I've been push, because November is the best month of the year for my business always. So like I need to make it count. I need to make it worth it. Right. So yeah, for sure. Are software engineers slowly also becoming DevOps engineers? Like, a software engineer who doesn't know how to deploy isn't a real software engineer. And so, yeah, like if you don't know how to deploy, then freaking for sure, that's like, and you need to be able to deploy in the cloud, right? In your opinion, what are the most in-demand soft skills for a good data engineer? Business acumen, being aware of like how your business is with how your pipelines impact the business. 100%, that'd be the big thing, right? Your views about data platform versus data engineer job. Data platform is more of a software engineering job. Data engineer job is going to be more of a business oriented job. It's a little bit less technical. You're going to be writing data pipelines and being a little bit more closer to the business, whereas data platform is a little bit more horizontal, where it's more of an enablement role, right? Because as a data platform, you're trying to do that, right? Will Snowflake replace Azure and AWS? Definitely not. Definitely not. Any additional discounts today? Yeah, there's 30% off Data Expert, right? You can get that's the Bootcamp Black Friday sale is right there. And like I want to do a game right now with y'all as well. So because I want to give a couple like 50% off coupons for some people. Like I'll probably give two away right now, so you can get 50% off instead of 30% off if you want to get in. And so the game here, right, is you got to, I'm going to do the same one that I did before. You got to post the funniest data engineering joke. Whoever posts the funniest data engineering joke, I will send them a 50% off coupon, right? So that just go ahead and put that in the chat and we can go from there. Just curious, if you have all access, does that include the January bootcamp or do you get access to it later? Definitely access to it later. It's usually about a 2-month break, right? That's like it's a 2-month break between when I deliver a boot camp and when I give it onto that all access subscription. So you'd get it in like March or April. Right now, after completing this free bootcamp, how will companies evaluate candidates for data engineering role without additional experience? I have no idea. Like companies evaluate data engineers in 5 trillion different ways. Like I have no way of answering this question because the data engineer interview is, I can talk about how people are evaluated at Facebook, which is 0.1% of data engineers, or it's not even 0.1%. It's probably even less than that. It's probably like 0.05% of data engineers. So it's like, I can't tell you hiring trends, man. I don't know. I'm just an educator. Right? Is having a business intelligence background a helpful perspective for learning data engineering? Yes, 100%. That's what I did. I was a Tableau guy, Tableau business intelligence. That was my first job out of college, was doing Tableau and BI. So like, yeah, for sure. That's a very good place to start because then you are a lot more aware of the business. So yeah, 100%. SQL, PySpark, which is sufficient to get a data engineer opportunity? No, you need to know, like, I don't like these questions. I don't like these questions because it's like, it comes back to like, what is the least amount I can learn to get a job? And like, if that's how you're approaching your life of like, what is the least amount of effort I can do to get a job? Like, you're not going to be successful. You're just not going to be successful. You need to be learning a lot of stuff. Just learn the field, right? SQL, PySpark, Python, Airflow, distributed compute, right? Data modeling, Iceberg, right? You need to learn all of it. Don't just think, oh, I can learn SQL and Python and I'm going to make 500K as a data engineer. No. Like, why did the DF say the data pipeline, say the data engineer BF, wrong pipeline? That's pretty good. That's pretty good. This is a winner right now. So Abdullah is going to get the 50% off right now for sure. I love this. I love this joke. It's a very good joke. Until when is the Black Friday available? It's going to be available until Tuesday. All right. A data engineer would make a poor movie director because he's always focused on the sequel. That's pretty good. I still think Abdullah's got it here though with this wrong pipeline. This is freaking really solid. Why did the data engineer break up with their partner? They couldn't handle the schema changes. They added a column. Like, I don't know. When does the boot camp start? January 6th. Right. I'm working in the homework too. I hope end tomorrow. Great. I mean, the homework too is freaking complicated, dude. It's a messy, nasty homework. It's literally the most messy and nasty of all the homeworks, for sure. What did the data engineer say when their ETL pipeline failed? Looks like I need to do some ELT, eat lunch and think. Oh my God, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Why are data engineers terrible at relationships? Because they're always trying to normalize everything. That's great. Hey, Zach, for people who can't afford the paid bootcamp, what should they do after completing the free one? Build a good project. Like, free can do that. Is it possible to buy 1 month of access with Black Friday offer to have access on January? No. Like, just pay for it now. Like, no. Like, you can buy the 1 month right now and get the 30% off. That's great, but that doesn't guarantee you a spot. Because I hope you guys recognize there's only like 10 spots left anyways, right? There's not very much left, right? I'm intentionally keeping the paid bootcamp pretty small so that we can have a nice tight-knit group of people so I don't have to be overwhelmed, right? And it's going to be a lot better. How did you jump from data engineer to backend? How did they accept your path shift? What was your approach? Finding a good manager who supported me and working really, really, really hard. Those two things together, I'd say, are going to be the big things for sure. It's like you need a, like, I was, coding on the weekends every weekend, like building startups and side projects, right? And that's like, I built up my back end and REST skills from that. I wasn't just like, I think that's one of the things that data engineers kind of get complacent because they're just like, I'm just going to build my pipelines and call it a day. But for me, it's like I build products. That's why I have data expert. I have all these other things, right? How influential had Alex Hormozy been in you starting your business? He wasn't very influential freaking starting the business, but he has been influential freaking on the like in scaling it. I'm actually going to visit him in a couple weeks. I have a call, or I have like an in-person meeting with him on the 15th of December, and so that's going to be pretty good. I'm excited for that. Like he's definitely helping me scale my business. That's like I find that he gives me a lot of confidence for sure. Why do data engineers make terrible storytellers? But they always interrupt the narrative with where clauses. Why don't data engineers trust theirs? Because they're always up to something. What? All right. I think I know what I want to do here. Like, okay, for everyone on the live, just give me a second. Here. Okay. 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 Cool. Okay, so I just created a coupon code. So if you use Black Friday 50, so if you use this coupon code at checkout, you can get 50% off. I'm just gonna freaking give it to whoever wants it. The best joke is whatever. Like whoever wants it, they can get it. Did you manage to get a pass for reInvent? I did. I got a pass. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna be there for sure. Hey Zach, if I pay for the bootcamp now, will we start the classes on January or 2 months later? January. Like January 6th. How does a data engineer deal with a breakup? They just drop the partition and move on. That's great. So remember, Black Friday 50, first 5 people to buy here can get 50% off instead of 30% off. So hopefully, like some of y'all who think that my courses are too expensive, you can get in for 50% off because that's going to be a significantly better deal. Let's see here. Me on a dating show, describe my perfect date, year. This is good. This one's good. Honestly, like Cortland, you freaking nailed it. This is one of those that like really like hits the spot, like it's one of those really, really beautiful ones, right? See here. How do data engineers stay fit? By doing incremental loads. That's pretty good. Honestly, that's really good. Like, I'm really excited for all these just ridiculous jokes right now, dude. I'm like, it's a banger, I just bought the fundamentals of data engineering. Any tips on how I can maximize my learning while parallelly doing the bootcamp? Like, look at Joe's perspective and look at my perspective. Like, if you we have different opinions on a couple things, but like most things we see eye to eye on. And so like definitely read through it, right? How do you see the stack Snowflake and DBT? Like, I think that they're a very important stack. Like, it's a stack that like, it's not really like the big tech stack because big tech's all about Spark, but like Snowflake and DBT is very, very useful for like, especially small to medium-sized companies, even big companies, just not like mammoth, like gigantic companies, right? That's going to be the spot, right? How long do we keep access if we buy the bootcamp? A year. So you'll have access, a little bit more than a year. So if you buy January 6th, you'll have access till January 31st of 2026. So you'll have like 13 months of access. So yeah, that's going to be like how it works. Like, and hopefully like in that year, you'll have, you'll learn a lot, all that stuff, right? It's, there's a lot that can happen, a lot of knowledge that can be dumped on you, right? Zach, I applaud your patience. The bootcamp is hard because I don't know Python and SQL, so I'm studying to prepare for the bootcamp in January. Thank you for the Black Friday sale. Yeah, for sure, Tech Ops. Like, freaking, I'm really happy that you're here. Really happy that that you've been able to make it in here. And like, yeah, dude, it's freaking great. It's really, really great. I think some of y'all might need to get the. Okay, 1 second. I think the coupon's already used up. Is it? No, it's not used up. Okay, we still have. There's still a couple. Oh yeah, only two people have used it so far. So I'll put that back up on the screen because like I think that y'all need to see it. So there's still a couple here left, right? So Black Friday 50. If you use that code at checkout on Data Expert, you can get 50% off. Yeah, Cortland, amazing, dude. Like, yeah, that's freaking, like, it's a great deal. Like, I mean, you'll be able to freaking like just find a lot of value here, and a lot of just, like, it's amazing. It's amazing what can happen in the future here. Like, I'm really, really pumped about like where things are going. Like, and I really think I'm going to be able to deliver a lot of really, really good value here as a data engineer, and like and just helping people, right? Because there's like this free boot camp has taught me a lot, right? And it makes me really, yeah. Yeah. Hello, I paid for the bootcamp right before you created the code. I mean, it's all good, fam. Like, there's only a couple more left, right? There's like, I mean, I think it's almost used up. Yeah, everyone, it's already used up now. Like, it was so fast. Like, those five just went away, and it's great. It's freaking just printing money, boom, 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 and it's pretty much gone now. So, like, yeah, congratulations to everyone who just freaking got the 50% off, because it is gone now. It is gone. So, yeah, if you want to take, you can still take advantage of the Black Friday discount, which is 30% off, and is as much as you want, right? Nice, Nikhil. Just signed up for the annual all access subscription with the code. Nikhil, you freaking snuck in there. You got the best deal on Black Friday right there. That's freaking amazing. Good job. Like, that's what you get for being decisive and acting quick, right? Which big data engineering processing tools would we should deep dive into for the next 5 years? Apache projects, Iceberg, Spark, Flink, Kafka. Like, that's great. Can you open again? You guys want 5 more? Nah, fam, I only do 5, dude. That's all we're doing, right? We're like, I mean, you can get the 30% off, and that's it. Would the bootcamp qualify for my employee-sponsored courses? Probably. I mean, we give you a well, we give you a freaking like a receipt and an invoice that you can use to get like a lot of people do, right? Yeah, I just bought using 30% before you added the 50%. Only 5 people got the 50%, bro. Hey Zach, I'm doing a transition to the data field, working now as a DE intern and finishing my data science degree. Do you think my age of 36 will lower my chances? I mean, ageism is real. Ageism is a real thing, right? Yeah, Black Friday 50, it's because it's done. There's no more 50%. There's only 5. I only offered 5 there, dude. So what's the difference between paid bootcamp and free bootcamp? The paid bootcamp is in the cloud. We use Databricks and Snowflake. We freaking build cloud pipelines, all right? That's the big difference. The paid bootcamp also offers mentorship. So like if you get certified in the paid bootcamp, you will get mentorship, and that will help you with career matching, right? So that's going to be the big things that I would recommend looking at, right? Let's see here. Why did you move backend instead of data architecture? Because I freaking like backend. I like building products. And then I was a data architect at Airbnb. I did backend, and then I went to Airbnb and was a data architect. So I did both. Like, one of the things you got to understand is, like, I'm a very technical person. Like, and I feel very confident in building whatever I want to build, right? And so, yeah, 100%, right? One question: how platforms like TradingView combine historical and real-time data? Can we do it in PySpark? Any opinions on that? Yeah, like, you have Spark Streaming. Spark Streaming is pretty good. You could use like a Kappa architecture or a Lambda architecture to kind of smash those things together, right? Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Okay. See here. I come from back-end, front-end background. How hard would it take for me to understand the 6-week course? Just start it. I'm starting on it next week. Just see what happens. Like, try it out. And like, if you know SQL and you know Python, you'll probably be able to get value from it. It's a lot, though. I'm not saying that like my bootcamp, like the very first course, the very first day, it's like, holy shit, this is a lot. Like, because it's not meant for like entry level, right? It's not meant for entry level, right? That's the big thing to remember, is like, that's not who it's for, right? That's a big thing that you got to remember as like you're kind of going through the course, is that like, I built the course for people who when I built it, let's see here. Do subscribers to the paid bootcamp have access to the on-demand content after the bootcamp is over? Yeah. I release the bootcamp material a couple weeks after the bootcamp is over, 100%. That's and then you get a self-paced, right? You get a self-paced. You don't get the live, but you get the self-paced for sure. That's how you can kind of think about it, right? For sure. That's all very much there, and yeah, it's gonna be great. Oh, dude, I'm so happy that Sable made it in, though. It's freaking awesome. I'm so happy about it. Like, dude, y'all are great. is there any performance difference between Spark SQL using PySpark data frame API? Not really. They're like, so the only difference here, like, because Spark SQL and PySpark are they're like, the query plan is gonna be the same, right? The query plan is gonna be the same for sure, 100%. And but like the only difference here is gonna be like, there really isn't that much difference. There is more difference between like the data frame API and the data set API, because the data frame API and the Spark SQL APIs both use the tungsten optimizer. They both use the tungsten optimizer, right? So yeah, true, because I think the bootcamp is easy. That's because I'm familiar with the topics. Yeah, but it's probably a good refresher for you. I mean, even the most senior people and staff people, like the people who have like 10 years of experience, there's usually at least some little nuggets of information in there where, yeah, you're totally right. If you're familiar with the topics, it should be pretty easy, right? PySpark or Spark SQL. I'm releasing a video tomorrow going over all of it, like going over the details of Spark SQL versus PySpark versus the dataset API versus the Scala APIs. All three of those, we're going to be covering that in detail tomorrow. I'm releasing like a 2-hour video talking all about that and UDFs and performance and everything that you would want to think about. Freaking, right? If I take the free bootcamp, will I be qualified for the paid one? Yeah, if you get through it and do all the homework, 100%. Right? Which one is great data engineering or DevOps down the line? Like, why don't you just learn both? Why don't you just commit to being a very technical person and try and quit doing like this or that, right? Because I think that that's probably going to be a better approach. Because guess what? I don't fear Kubernetes. I don't fear Docker. I don't fear freaking Terraform. And I'm a data engineer. I can do DevOps, right? So yeah, it's great. Still holding on to hope that you'll offer that 50% deal for another 5 slots, you know, for those of us who almost gave up but are still clinging onto a shred of faith. That's freaking funny. How do you stay up to date with technology and continuing developing your skills as an entrepreneur? Since you explain concepts well based on your experience, I'd like to hear your approach to continuous learning. I write code every day. I make content every day. I read about like LLMs and freaking RAG and all that stuff. Like, I'm building, like, so I almost have it done. I have freaking like, can I like add this? I want to see if I can freaking screen share this. This is like, okay, let's just do the whole screen. Can I like do this? Oh, cool. I can actually do this. Great. Okay. So so one of the things I'm working on right now, right, is I have this like little Pinecone freaking thing. And what it can do is I have like query Pinecone. So Pinecone's like a vector database. And so what I'm doing is, and this is going to be done pretty soon, is like you say we have OpenAI and getting embeddings and stuff like that. So what this is going to do is it's going to create a TA for the bootcamp. So like if you ask a question in the bootcamp, the tech creator bot will look at the old messages in Discord and try to answer it. And it will try to answer your question. And so like there's essentially like an AI TA that can do that. And so that's something I'm really, really excited to add into the bootcamp. That will be both part of the free and the paid bootcamp. And anyone else who's going to be using the Tech Creator platform, this will also be available to you guys as well. You'll be able to have an automated TA that will be able to give you everything that you're looking for. So it should be pretty great. I'm really excited about that. I've been busting my ass freaking trying to build more AI tooling, right? And so it's pretty great. Zach, thank you for the free bootcamp. It means the world. Can you share your thoughts on Apache NiFi? I have never, ever in a million years used NiFi as ingestion. So never used it. So that's my opinion. Just want to say thank you so much for the free bootcamp. Yeah, for sure. Heated Bread. I like your name. Heated Bread 76. It's a freaking great one. Yeah, Drew, thank you. Thank you for saying that my AI TA is awesome, right? Please make one end-to-end project for YouTube community. Just go look at Darshil Parmal. Just go look at that. Just like, I don't have to make this content. Like, why does everyone want me to do an end-to-end project? It's so dumb. Like, it's like, I would rather teach more complicated topics and then you can stitch it all together yourself. And like, because like, honestly, if you're building a project that you figured out yourself versus a project I gave you, right, that's going to be a very big difference, right? What's the LLM reviewing the assignments? It's GPT-4o. I want to move to GPT-4. I want to move to the preview. Does the free bootcamp last until 1st of January or 31st? 31st of January. 31st of January, and then I'm taking it all down. Taking the whole free bootcamp down after the 31st of January. What week is this? An email said it's week 3, but the email said it's week 2. This is the week 2 summary. So we just finished week 2. Week 3 starts tomorrow. So it's the end of week 2, start of week 3 is is right now, right? Yeah, and for sure, like if you're looking for end-to-end projects on YouTube, just look up Darshil. Darshil is where to go, right? That's great. Where can I get the same hoodie? If you want like a similar hoodie, just freaking go here. Go freshhoods.com. It's great. I need to get sponsored by those guys. I make so many sales for them. It's unbelievable. Like I need to get more of these hoodies for free. You know, I think that would be really, really great. But like, you know, it's going to be awesome. I'm really excited. Right? Why do data engineers never get lost? They always have a schema to guide them. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Oh, this is good. How do you overcome ADHD and learn work every day new things? I'm stuck, barely can start your course. Part of it is learning to love the process, right? Learning to love the suffering, right? Because yeah, like you're gonna feel defeated because I'm gonna be presenting concepts that are kind of a lot, right? Is week 3 video available? No, it will be soon. My editor is busting his entire ass right now. Like it's a lot of content, right? An unbelievable amount of content that is going to be published, right? And so, like, I think that that's a big thing to be thinking about, like, as you're kind of like going through this stuff. But yeah, should be pretty great. I mean, it's gonna be great. Your thoughts on AI agents? Ooh, that's a good one. I think AI agents are the future. I mean, I'm going to be doing a lot more AI stuff, right? That's why my grading is AI based. My freaking TAs are going to be AI based, right? Is there a certification for the free bootcamp? Yes, there is, but you have to watch. If you watch all the videos on YouTube, it's not going to work. You have to watch all the videos from bootcamp.techcreator.io. So you go there, you join the free bootcamp, and then that will track all of your time. And then you need so how it works to get the certification is there's 9 homework assignments, and then you need to watch all the videos, and then that will track all your time, and then that will be the way to do it, right? Yeah, for sure. Is your DE course good for people interested in data analytics? No, it's good for people good for free bootcamp will be available until end of 2025. No, till the end of January 2025, January 31st. So you got 2 months, a little bit more than 2 months. You got 2 months, not 13 months, right? Like that's a lot. Like, why would I do that? Why would I do that when you could take it right now, right? Just take it right now, right? That's the way to do it, right? What architect you will follow if you have multiple data sources and target is Snowflake? I mean, that's a very broad question. I mean, if you have multiple data sources, I like the little book of pipelines. If you Google little book of pipelines, that's always if you just Google this, Google little book of pipelines. I have an architecture, right, that I think is going to be great. Can we submit all homeworks until January 31st, or this should be at the end of every week? So there's 2 things. So in the free bootcamp, we do an exclusive Q&A. So if you do submit the homework the week it's due, then so for example, if you submit week 2 by Monday, on Tuesday, so next Tuesday we will have a closed exclusive Q&A for the free bootcamp submitting people, where you can talk with me and it's a very intimate, close Q&A where like you can raise your hand and talk to me, and it's like not through text but actually through video. It's on like Google Meet, and but then it's like, but if you're trying to get certified, you have till the end of January. You have till the end of January to get certified, but you have a couple weeks here. But if you want to get the extra perks of like being able to talk with me more and learn more about data engineering and have like a very intimate Q&A with me, doing the homework every week and staying up with the bootcamp is the way to do that. Also need to finish all the homework for the free certification. Yes, indeed. You got to do all of it. I want to make that free. The free certification is like hard, right? My guess is 25,000 people have signed up. My guess is like 200 or 300 people will get certified. It's like 1%. 1% of the free bootcamp will actually get certified because I'm making it very difficult. You have to do all of it, all of the work, right? And it's like, it's a lot for sure. Can we have a video where you're guiding tips and tricks for DA, DE interviews? Like, I guess, like I just don't like teaching the interview. The interview is literally like the most boring part of data engineering to me. Like, I feel like you guys can learn that from other people. That's why I have mentors who do that in the bootcamp, because I just am not interested in teaching that content, but like, we'll see. For someone who asked about doing projects, Zach suggested Darshil. I found this page that seems interesting. Yeah, for sure. How can I join the free bootcamp? You go to bootcamp.techcreator.io. That's where you're going to go for the free bootcamp. And you'll be able to get a lot of really good value from that, 100%. So I'm excited to see y'all there. Excited to see who can get some content going there. And like, it's going to be freaking awesome. Like, I need some more help with that stuff because I have like the data engineer handbook, right? So definitely check out this too, data engineer handbook. If you Google this, data engineer handbook, that's another thing I would definitely check out because like I have a GitHub repo that has like 22,000 stars that has this bootcamp, the free bootcamp in it, and it also has all the resources that you need to learn data engineering. So definitely check that out. I think it's a freaking really good spot that you can like find stuff, right? According to you, which layer will type 2 SEDs fit in the medallion architecture? I think the medallion architecture is kind of shit, but it's gold. It would be gold. But I think the medallion architecture is shit. So is 2 months enough time to finish the free bootcamp? Yeah. If you dedicate 10 hours a week to it, 100%. What do you think of Talend? I think Talend and Informatica are shit. I don't like them. I don't like no code ETL tools. I don't like freaking Fivetran. I don't like Talend. I don't like Informatica because I think that like they abstract away a lot of the data engineering work that then it limits data engineers' career growth. And that's just not something that I think is a good thing. It makes it easier for sure. It makes some things easier because then you don't have to write as much code, but then like you don't grow technically as much. And that is something that is a big deal. It's a very, very, very big deal to be thinking about, right? Hey, Zach, I really learned a lot these past 2 weeks for you. Thanks for that. But could you please to not jumping around when you explain things? That would be great. Nope, sorry. Definitely not going to do that. I have ADHD. Sorry, definitely not going to do that. I'm going to keep teaching the way that I teach, right? And so like if that doesn't work for you, find another instructor, right? What are your thoughts on AI taking data engineering jobs in the future? AI is going to make more data engineering jobs in the future. Will you leave your videos up until the end of January? Yes. January 31st is the last day you can watch all of my YouTube videos for the bootcamp. It's going to be a lot of content, but it's not up forever. It's a moment in time. I want to motivate y'all to actually do it because if I'm like, hey, you can take my free course whenever you want, guess what that means? You're going to delay. You're going to be like, oh, I'll just take it tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and you're like, oh, I'll just take it tomorrow. I'll take it tomorrow. It's always available. I have no investment in this, right? So that's why I'm freaking taking it down so that like you guys have the 2 months here so I can light a fire under your ass to like actually freaking get it done. Yo, what's up, Denny? It's great. I love seeing people from X. I love being on like X is like that platform is so crazy. Yeah, you jumping around is the best part of your bootcamp. I love the love and creativity. Yeah, 100%, 100%. How to start with Kafka and Flink for hands-on because the number of use cases are still very less compared to others. Yeah, for sure. We're going to be able to do that. 50% off, please. I already delivered the 5 there. Sorry, no more. Statistically, if I complete the course, is it more likely I'll be in running for a marriage proposal? I hope so. I mean, if you're making like 6 figures as a data engineer, I feel like you're going to be like you're big baller energy at that point, you know, right? Significance of recommendation letters in tech hiring. Got laid off and had many reach out to write me recs, but don't see where they play a role in the applying or interview process. They're not that important. References and that stuff is a little bit important, but not that important. How do you test the cumulative table is not buggy? You write data quality checks against it, right? I tested the number of entries expected, adding 1972 to the cumulated until 1971. But how to approach more systematically? Like you should be looking at it day over day like that, 100%. Like that's the way. Like looking at like you can look at the entire thing and like explode it out and like have a data quality thing that unnests the array and then like looks for duplicates and stuff like that. But I mean, that's the thing to think about. What do you think about Amazon Data Zone? I have no idea what the hell that is. I have never even heard of that. How long should it optimally take to find a data engineering job? I have no idea. Right? How much faster does the bootcamp make it? I have no idea. Like first off, I don't know what country you live in. Second off, I don't know like what your previous skills are. I don't know how much experience you have. Like there's so many things, so many other factors here that I have to think about to like give you numbers here. And I don't know. Like, I don't know. Right. Any thoughts on will paid content be deleted after the bootcamp or do we have access to it after the bootcamp finishes? You have a year. You have an entire year to look at the bootcamp material, the paid bootcamp material. You get a whole year of access and you also get access to any other subsequent stuff. Right, that stuff is also added on, right? So you get access to that stuff as well. Where can I find the Discord server for the bootcamp? Well, it's in the email. You got an onboarding email, and that is where you can find it. Is it safe to type my full name in the bootcamp name area? Why not? Avantika, nice. Avantika's great. You guys should follow her on LinkedIn. She's great. You're a legend. Been following you for a while and have been tremendously inspired by your journey. Thank you, Alan. That's great. When is the next paid bootcamp coming? January 6th. January 6th. It's coming right up. New year. Like, think about it this way. At the middle of February, you can be ready to go, right? What is the URL for the free bootcamp? I will put that in one more time. Right there, bootcamp.techcreator.io. That's where you can join and where you can join the bootcamp. I would love it. I would love it if you do that, because then you can get certified and actually get like get a cool little piece of paper from me that says like, Zach, you are a good certified person based on Zach's opinion, right? But like obviously like it's not a certification that is going to be as good. But like also know right now I'm doing Black Friday sales, everyone. Like, so if you want to join, the lessons from GitHub will be deleted too. Yep, 100%. So you might want to save them. I don't know. Like, I mean, obviously, it's mostly going to be the YouTube videos that are going to be pulled down, right? Right. Dude, she meant you. Statistically, if I complete the course, is it more likely I'll be in the running for a marriage proposal? Oh, from me. Oh, dude, I'm so like unaware, right? I'm an unaware person, right? Maybe. Like, I mean, I'm still single and like trying to figure it out. What will be the days and times for the paid bootcamp in January? So it's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific. So let me put that. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. All right, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 6 to 8 PST, 6 to 8 p.m. I'll put that up on the screen so we can have that. So the paid bootcamp will be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific. So be great. Would love to see you collaborate with T3.gg, similar energy. Yeah, I wanna collaborate with Primogen too. I feel like I have a lot of like freaking similarities with Primogen as well. Right. During the free course, will we create projects to show on GitHub? You should do that on your own time. Like there's a lot of homework you can grind through. I'm not gonna give you a project to do. You can do whatever the hell you want. Like, you're gonna learn a lot, right? Do you think doing DP 203 is worth it? I have no idea. I don't give a shit about certifications. I don't care. Like, recommended 6 months minimum for SQL and Python skills, 100%. Like, if you have no freaking stuff like that, right? I've taken the V4 bootcamp. Is there a big enough difference to take V5? If you've taken V4, hit me up. I can get you 50% off. If you've been in a previous bootcamp, I can get you 50% off for the next bootcamp. So like you can get in for $1,200. Just hit me up if you are. Just hit me up on Discord and I can get you in. There is a pretty big difference. So we are going to be talking a lot more about Databricks and Snowflake and a little bit more about DBT. There is going to be not a ton of overlap. I mean, there is overlap between the V4 and V5 content, 100%, but like that's why it's 50% off, right? I can get you in for a significant discount if you are already there. Do we need AWS account for free bootcamp Spark Labs? No, everything's done locally. So no, the free bootcamp is completely done on your own machine. So 100%. Does the January 6th paid bootcamp also get me content for the analytics engineer bootcamp that was done in the past? Yeah, I mean, it already covers, it's going to be covering a lot of that material again, but yeah, you can get in for that as well, 100%. Like, we'll get you that, right? Like, just like when you buy, reach out to Matali and Matali can get you access to that. I work as a product manager for enterprise data platform and banking. My goal is to move into Gen AI PM in FANG. Like, if you're doing a Gen AI PM, don't even give a shit about DE. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you're trying to be a PM. Like, you should go into DS more, right? How are you doing in this week, since it's been a lot lately for you, for your team, and you like day 1, 2, 3, week 2, and week 3 tomorrow, right? I mean, I'm grinding. I mean, all that like you got to understand, like all that content's already filmed, right? I'm not like filming that content in real time right now. That would be crazy. Right? That content's over like a year old, right? We will have a limited amount of time to have the certification at the end of the course. Yeah, for the free bootcamp. So for the free bootcamp, you have till January 31st of next year, like, so 2 months. And then for the paid bootcamp, you have a year. But like for the paid bootcamp, if you want the mentorship, you have to get certified at the end of the bootcamp. Like, you don't get the mentorship rewards unless you get certified at the end of the bootcamp. There's a cutoff date, right? Can you please explain the step in more detail to install Spark with Docker? Thanks. Like, I have a video that's already going to be up. Like, it's already going to be there. Like, it's already, like, just go look at the GitHub, right? Great. Right. Hey, Zach, I just purchased. I went through Klarna and the payments are being processed via LinkedIn. Is that right? I mean, it shouldn't be processed via LinkedIn. But it will just be processed via Klarna, and then you can do a payment plan that way, right? So 100%. I just started as a junior, but my company don't have a project, do much about the role like tool. When apply another company, I always get rejected. Just keep applying, right? From your background, you seem to be living in an Airbnb. Are you currently in digital nomad mode? Yeah, I freaking left San Francisco like in July. It's been like 6 months of just shit show for me. 6 months of just bouncing around and it's just like a shit show. So like 100%, I'm excited to like I'm in the next couple of weeks. I'm going to be moving back. I'm probably going to move back to San Francisco and then and live there for a year. Do you use data engine knowledge to trade stocks? I do not. I just do passive investing. I do S&P 500 index funds. I just do it very passive. Like I'm a firm believer that's kind of hard to beat the market. So I will just do things good. Make the free bootcamp. Make the free bootcamp until February. Well, technically, it's January 31st at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. So it's actually February 1st in Paris. So yeah, for sure. It's February 1st, 6 a.m. in Paris. So yeah, you're welcome. I now I purchased the 2025 bootcamp. Will the progress populate on January 6th? I only see the free bootcamp at the moment. Like I need to see you might have bought with a different account or something like that. Just reach out to support. There's probably something going on there. It should have added you. Maybe it didn't. Like there's a lot going on right now. Stockton or Malone. I know I like Malone a little bit because he scored a lot of points, but Stockton's great because he's like kind of selfless, right? So why not New York? Because freaking like New York is far away. I'm a West Coast guy, dude. I was born in Utah. Freaking West Coast is my freaking vibe. Yeah, Ellis, they're like, you should be able to see there'll be another. You'll have the free bootcamp, and then there should be another block for the paid bootcamp. You might need to go to dataexpert.io. That might be the problem. Instead of if you're on bootcamp.techcreator.io, you might only see the free bootcamp. I think that's a UI bug that we're trying to figure out. The platform is still coming along, right? We're making good progress every day, like trying to grind through it, dude. Like that's interesting. If you guys you might want to check the other thing, but like 100%, that's like I would say. If that's happening, reach out to Matali in the Discord and we will get that fixed for you guys. You should have gotten an onboarding email, all that stuff, right? Who's going to be ahead in the game, Snowflake or Databricks? They're both going to win. It's like kind of being like, who's going to win Pepsi or Coke? Who's going to win Microsoft or Apple, right? Who's going to win Microsoft or Apple, right? Who's going to win? Like, it's not like if you answer that question with either, if you say Microsoft or Apple, like you have an answer for that. That's an absurd statement. Zach, thanks for the free bootcamp. Does Superset offer more powerful viz than Tableau? I don't know. That's a great question. I find Tableau to be more user-friendly, I guess. The bootcamp for the homepage for the free bootcamp, access to the videos and material will be only in the main homepage, or will we receive the material through other means? Like, I have no idea what that means. Like, it's all like on YouTube. You can go on YouTube, Data with Zach. You're on my YouTube channel right now. You can go check it out. You can do it through the play. You can just do my playlist on YouTube too if you don't want to get credit, right? Pimpin, does the bootcamp go over DQR implementation as well as possible semantic models within DBT? I mean, that's a freaking Bruno question. Like, I don't know what DQR implementation is, but like, I would guess probably not. Like, it goes into like it's like introduction and intermediate DBT. So this sounds like super like you're using all of the bells and whistles, right? Where's the data structure we need to focus more instead of array, stack, and queue? I don't know. Thanks. I've been grinding on data structures for sure, but since DE is a surround with, was curious. My current role uses a mix of DE and Cloud Eng. How important DE will be for gen roles? I already said no. Like it doesn't matter. It matters 0%. 0%. Like if you're being a PM, it does not matter. What skills will be acquired at the end of the free bootcamp? Data modeling, Spark, Flink, Kafka, data viz, data communication, data quality, Airflow, right? Just woke up, Australia, and joined Zach live straight. Am I cooked? You were not cooked. You were freaking killing it, crushing it. You showed up, right? So you're here. What is your take on the DC tech market? Probably changed since you were there, but thumbs up or thumbs. I mean, you have to have a clearance, right? If you want to be in the DC tech market, get your freaking clearance. And if you get a clearance, you can make a ton of money. You can make an unbelievable amount of money if you have a clearance. But if you don't have a clearance, good luck, right? Did you go to Burning Man 2024 after the mess in 2023? Yeah, I did. I went this year and last year and the year before. I went 2022, 2023, and 2024. It was great. This year was great. I love this year. It's freaking really great. When you say free bootcamp is till January 31st, do you remove all the videos related to bootcamp from YouTube? Nailed it. That's exactly what's going to happen. So better study up right now. Right, get through it in December and January. Like you have your New Year's resolution to become a good data engineer. Take advantage of it while it's free. Is the free bootcamp lifetime? Definitely not. I just said it wasn't. Hey Zach, I feel somewhat slow. Who are the names of people you are recommending for additional information and learning? Bruno is Bruno Souza de Lima. I don't know. He teaches the DBT in my bootcamp. I don't teach DBT because I don't have experience with DBT, by the way. I've never used DBT in my entire life. So I don't teach DBT because I don't use it. And I don't want to freaking teach something I've never used. So, but yeah, he's an interesting person. Bruno is like one of the most famous DBT people on the planet. So I love having him as part of my bootcamp for sure. And yeah, just everyone know that like right now I'm doing Black Friday sales, right now. And we are, you can get 30% off till December 2nd. And then the bootcamp's probably gonna be full by then. Like we're really close. We just made like freaking 12 sales. So like there's probably like 5 seats left, something like that. There's not very much left here, but like we'll see what happens. What should someone have prior knowledge of prior to this bootcamp? Freaking Python, SQL, freaking data modeling skills, like maybe something with Docker, know a little bit more of Docker. What's your favorite anime? Pokemon? I don't know, Pokemon or Inuyasha is pretty good too. Pokemon and Inuyasha are probably the two. I don't know. I feel like Pokemon's not a real anime, but what is better, Snowflake or Databricks? It's not a question, dude. It's like what tastes better, Pepsi or Coke, right? And it's like, I don't know, man. Like they both have, like, depending on my mood, I might like a Pepsi, I might like a Coke, right? How's your dog? My dog's doing great. She's doing really well. A lot of buzz around text-to-SQL. I am not impressed with text-to-SQL. Text-to-SQL is great if you're doing like a simple group by query, but besides that, it's freaking not that great. It's really not that great. So I would say definitely it's one of those things that you want to be a little bit more careful around, because it's like probably going to buy the bootcamp over the Canada Goose jacket. Dude, that'd be amazing. That's a very good idea. You'll get more ROI. I mean, I don't know. The Canada Goose jacket might freaking get you laid though. You know, I mean, if it's a good looking jacket, right? I mean, and on my bootcamp, I don't know, it might do the opposite, right? If you're grinding away, right? How did your LinkedIn dating post work out? We seeing you become a zaddy anytime soon? I mean, so like 50 people reached out. 50 people reached out. Of those, like 7 of the 50 were a fit to like what I wanted. And then I reached out to them, and of those 7 I had calls with. Then like 2 of those people who I had calls with are interesting. And like I'm in Utah right now, and they're in the Bay Area, so I gotta freaking go back to the Bay Area. But I'm hopeful that like I got like 2 really promising date options in December when I go back to the Bay. That's a kind of what it is. So it was like 50 to 7 to 2. That was like, if you wanted the funnel of like how things work. Are all free bootcamp videos available? Actually, no. Only the first 2 weeks are. Week 3 is published week 3 is published tomorrow, or a lot of week 3 is published tomorrow, not all of it, because I need to redo some of the content. The Airflow content is a little bit off. I need to do that right. What topics related to AI will be covered in the bootcamp? I already have a freaking, like, there's 4 hours of content. If you Google LLM driven data engineering, I'll put it in the, so if you just Google this, I already have 4 hours of content that you can check out. Just Google LLM driven data engineering. And there's a repo that I have that has like 1,000 stars that you can go through. We talk about RAG. We build Zach GPT, right? So it's like, I give you all of my LinkedIn content, and then you can build an AI that speaks like me. And because you have access to all my LinkedIn material. And so Zach GPT is a good one, all right? I had Canada Goose bought in 2015, but it was all the hype. But now it's meh, TBH in the trends. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Canada Goose is, I don't know. Like I have a hard time. I'm just like a freaking character. I don't really buy into fashion trends. I probably should. I think if I bought into fashion trends, I would have more dating success. But you know, it is what it is. All right. With AI advancing, what are your thoughts on DE job duties being replaced by AI? Well, some of them will. I think that AI is going to get better at troubleshooting pipelines. So like when a pipeline breaks and fails and like yells, AI will be able to troubleshoot that and restart the pipeline and fix the pipeline and look at a data quality error and like know what's going on and kind of fix it in an automated way. I think that's like something that's like kind of great, because that's part of data engineering that I hate. I hate that maintenance part of data engineering, right? Is like, I don't see the Black Friday sale on the website. Yeah, well, like freaking go to dataexpert.io. Like I have a couple, go to dataexpert.io LinkedIn user. Don't go to freaking, you're probably on the free bootcamp website, right? I don't see the Black Friday sale on the website for the bootcamp sale starting on January 6th. Just go to dataexpert.io. You're probably on the bootcamp.techcreator.io. Do you know MLOps guys so prolific like you on YouTube? Maria is probably going to be the best one. Not like on YouTube though. Maria has a good Maven course, Maria Vectoma. Like, let me go and find her. I'll get you her LinkedIn. She's really great. I think that she's going to be a really Vectomova. Okay, let me just throw that LinkedIn in here. We can do that. So this is like, definitely follow her. She's really great. She's probably the biggest ML ops person I know. I hope that she's going to be that. Will the paid bootcamp have analytical and infrastructure tracks as well? There's just going to be one. I mean, like freaking, like you can pick the tracks, I guess, like because there will be a Snowflake and like a Databricks kind of sections that are going to be in there, right? But like you can kind of do it either way there, right? So I would say that like I'm not gonna do the tracks. I did the tracks in the second bootcamp that I did, and it was a mess, and it's a lot, right? Is DE being tooled to death? I mean, everyone wants to build a free tool, right? Is Snowflake part of the free bootcamp? No. If not, then do we need to focus on Snowflake? Yes. I'm not giving you everything in the free bootcamp, y'all. Like freaking, it's 6 weeks. I can't teach you. Data engineering is a very, very big space. I can't teach you everything in 6 weeks, right? That's why I have a cloud-based stuff, right? And Snowflake, like, it's a lot. There's a lot going on, right? I don't have much experience working in Python. Should I enroll in your bootcamp or not? Probably not. Probably not. Are you planning to cover any DE concepts for LLMs on your free bootcamp YouTube, or is it only being covered in the paid? That is going to be, I already have the free. You can get that right now. It's not on YouTube, but it is on my platform for free. If you just look at, there's I have a, where to go? This one. So we have LLM driven data engineering. So if you Google that, you'll find a GitHub repo that has 4 hours of content, right? It's great. Oh, dude, you know, Abdu Hahir, I'm freaking so happy of you. So happy that you're coming in here, right? Are you holding bootcamp on a yearly basis? Hopefully. I mean, like, I feel like that's good, right? Can we pay the bootcamp in deferred payments? There's Klarna. Klarna is an option where you can do like an installment. You can do like 3. You can break it up into 3 installments. But that's mostly for US people. So what we miss in the free bootcamp, we've launched dimensional data modeling and fact data modeling. There's like 10 hours of content on YouTube now, and we're going to be releasing like another 6 or 7 here in the next day or so. So it should be good. Have you had experience with Beam or something similar? We are using it for large scale data pipeline for satellite data, which is like images, but much heavier per instance. Yeah, I mean, Beam is interesting because Beam gives you that whole, like, it gives you the Lambda architecture for free, right? You can like do batch or streaming, and it's just like a flick of the switch. We used Beam at Netflix for a little bit, but the problem is Flink is better. Like if you're, especially like if you freaking what I'm trying to say here, Flink is better because it's lower latency, and that's one of the things that can definitely happen, right? Is like if you are using Beam, then you want to have like Beam is going to have a little bit more latency if you're in that kind of real-time environment. I have no idea what your use case is, so I don't know how much you need it for. But like we needed really, really low latency at Netflix, so we moved away from Beam and we moved to Flink, which was a mess. It was a mess, by the way, because then we had Spark and Flink, and it was a mess, right? And nowadays it's probably better, right? What is better right now, Gen AI, ML Ops, or DE? DE. I don't know, man. Like freaking it. Like I hate these. You know what? I hate these questions. I hate these questions. You want to know why I hate these questions? Is because you can do both. I don't know if you know. You can do both. You know, you can use LLMs as a DE, and guess what? MLOps people, they build data pipelines. Right? Is there option for discount based on purchasing power parity? Get 30% off right now. I don't know. Like I get that might be still too expensive for you, but like reach out to Matali. Matali can give you probably some answers about PPP if you are interested in that. What What qualities do you think make a great data engineer? They know how to say no. They push back. They're very aware of the business. They freaking are technical and they know how to build optimized pipelines. They're very good at data modeling. They understand that, like, that'd be great, right? Does one-time payment provide lifetime access to all content in the future? No, it provides access to 1 year of content. Data platform engineering versus data engineering, they're both great. I did kind of both. I was more of a data platform guy at Netflix, and then I was a data engineer at Facebook and Airbnb. So they're both great. They're both really good options. Like data platform is going to be a lot more software engineering focused. You're going to have a lot more stuff like that. Oh, we have an interesting one here. Data architecture wise, what is your recommended approach? Cloud storage, Apache Iceberg, in-memory DB, Redis. I like in-memory DBs. That's great. I mean, you might want a third option here because you have ice and you have your ice and your hot, right? So like, because S3 is essentially like the coldest of the storage. That's why it's called iceberg, right? Because it's cold. And then Redis is like literally the hottest storage. So you might want to think about something in the middle there as well. Like that's where Postgres is actually pretty good. Or Snowflake is also pretty good. Snowflake is more low latency than Iceberg is. So like, you know, if you're building dashboards, sometimes powering your dashboard off of Snowflake, powering your dashboard off of Iceberg can be a little bit slow. And that might not be the best way to do it. So that's a thing to be thinking about, is that like it's a continuum, right? It's a continuum, right? What are your go-to tools for data governance, data quality, data lineage? Like I like freaking Atlas. Apache Atlas is really great for logging and understanding stuff. You just having a lot of good query logs is great. Like some of this is like, it's not about the tool, it's about the methodology, right? And if you know the methodology, then the tool doesn't matter as much, right? Because then you don't have to be like addicted to the tooling. But like if you think about it from a data quality perspective, like Great Expectations is pretty great. Amazon DQ is pretty great. Lineage, there's a thing called Gable. Have you heard of Gable? Gable AI. I like Gable. Gable's pretty great. They're innovating a lot at Gable, right? So keeping in mind, y'all, I'm doing a Black Friday sale right now on Data Expert. So you can get 30% off right now. This is not with very limited seats left in the January Bootcamp, but I highly recommend checking it out. It should be a really great time. It's gonna be life-changing for a lot of people. My goal is to place 1,000 data engineers into jobs in February or March of 2025. And yeah, it's gonna be great. What do you think about ClickHouse? I'm going to a ClickHouse event in a couple days. ClickHouse and the chain smokers are doing an event at reInvent, and I'm going to be there. It's going to be great. Let's see here. What do you think? I love answering these questions. What do you think of the data engineer Google Cloud certificate? I give no fucks. I don't care. I don't care about certificates. I do not care. Even my own certificate is like, I'm okay about it. I don't even think it's that great. Like certificates are just pieces of paper. It's all about the knowledge, right? If you want to ask me about like the knowledge underneath that certificate, then we can talk, right? Your Discord chat with each region of the world helped a lot. Great idea. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I've been trying to design things to be pretty awesome, right? The TA that I'm building is going to be great. What's your opinions on DuckDB? I think DuckDB is great. I think DuckDB is really giving us that necessary middle layer, right? Because you have, you have the cold layer, you have Iceberg, and then you have the hot layer, which is like Redis. Or you have, it's kind of a continuum of cold to hot. And then DuckDB is a great middle ground where you have a nice warm, it's like a warm storage where you can do analytical queries on DuckDB. That's great. Tell us more on posting DE jobs in 2025. I mean, DE jobs are going to be hotter. Well, rates are coming down, right? Rates are coming down. I think interest rates are going to drop again. They're probably going to go back to like 5%, 4 or 5%. And when they're in 4 or 5%, we're going to see a lot more tech roles popping up, just because people will be able to borrow more money and they're going to lean more into risk. And that's a good thing. It's a good thing. And we should be able to see a lot of really powerful stuff from that. And I really think that that's one of the things that's going to change in 2025 is we're going to see a shift in the market in that way. Hopefully, because this year has been really hard. This year for data engineering has been really, really hard. So like, definitely, I think that that's a big change that's going to happen over the next, 6 months or so. And like, if we can go from there, I think you're going to be very surprised at where things are going to go from there. It's going to be freaking crazy. It's going to be so crazy. And like, I'm very grateful for everyone who has bought the bootcamp right now, dude. It's freaking great, right? That's an interesting question. Steph or Kyrie? I'm a Warriors guy. I mean, I've lived in the Bay Area for so long. And like, I lived in the Bay Area when the Warriors were like gods, right? They've kind of slowed down a little bit, but like they're still doing. I mean, they're having a great start this year. They're doing really great. Like it seems like they have like a new kind of jolt of energy, right? Hourly rates are in the shitter. What used to be 200 an hour is now 85. Ridiculous. I mean, yeah, I mean that can happen, right? Like it depends on like the demand of things, right? Thoughts on quantum computing? It's never going to be hot. It's never going to be hot. The main reason for that is because we have so much infrastructure around solving classical computing problems, and most computing problems are classical computing problems. There is a small niche of quantum computing problems. Like you can think of like 5% of the computing problems right now that we could move to quantum, and they will experience a lift, right? They will be solved in a much faster and better way. Whereas if it's a classical computing problem, then it won't be that case, right? Your paid bootcamp doesn't cover the DSA. I have a 1 hour thing on that. Yeah, it's not about interviewing. It's not about interviewing. I give no shits about interviewing. Like, can you share your resume with us or guide us about it? Sure. Let me see if I can find that real quick. I think that's a very useful use of my time. Let me go to, I can find it. It's going to be resume. This one. Okay, there we go. Let's we'll just share the screen here. Okay, so I mean, can I make this a little bigger? I mean, this is I don't have my data expert stuff on here because I freaking haven't switched to that. But like, here's the idea. Like whenever you're like working on a resume, right? You have like your name, contact information, location. Have this just be your city. Don't have like your full address here, your email and your LinkedIn. Maybe your GitHub as well. GitHub's I would probably add GitHub now because my GitHub's more impressive. But then you have your company, right? And then make sure you have impact numbers. Like every single one of these should have a freaking like number on it, right? So you see like 60%, $1.5 million a year, led a team of 7, see 7 data engineers, define the standards of how Airbnb moved data from offline data lake into the online application. And we have implemented a 2-year roadmap. See the number here again. That's great. And then these ones are great here. We have reimagined how teams code repos were structured and how we did CI/CD, cut average deploy times by 65%, build a machine learning feedback system to manage corporate user risk. One of the things about my time at Netflix was it was all like cybersecurity. So it was like kind of hard to get a little bit more numbers here, right? But you'll see like when I was not in cybersecurity, when I was a senior data engineer at Netflix, I have more numbers here. I have the save Netflix $7 million a year in 2018 by allowing them to make smarter A/B test rollout decisions and optimize it. And keep in mind, like if you look at the time here, this is like 5 months, right? And that's the thing that I like to really show on my resume is someone's like, what? They look at this and then they look at this and they're like, this guy just like joined the company and dropped value bombs like immediately, right? And so that's where you see like there's metrics everywhere, right? And this is how like, and then you should be able to like every single one of these bullets, if someone asks you about it, you should be able to go into a lot of detail. And if you can go into a lot of detail, that's how you're going to really, I would probably get rid of Red Pika Labs now. This is probably a little bit too old on my resume. I'd probably get rid of this and then add data expert. And then probably some of the stuff at Facebook would be kind of cut down. And then, you know, at the bottom of mine, I have my expertise, right? I changed this. I used to have a lot more here, but I cut it down to just things that like I feel very, very confident in, right? That's going to be the big change that I did here, right? That's why I don't have like, I used to put like Groovy script here and freaking Ruby because I had like some experience with those. But now I only put programming languages that I have like multiple years of experience with because I feel like that's like more the truth, right? And I put them in order in terms of like how comfortable I feel in each language. I would probably change this now. I'd probably move JavaScript up and Python down. Python's like my 4th most comfortable language, where I really love Java, I really love Scala, and I really love JavaScript. But Python's a little bit I'm a little bit flimsy on Python because Python's like such a weird language just in general, right? And then obviously your frameworks, you have a Spring Boot, Spark, PySpark, Pig. Make sure to put both Spark and PySpark in your freaking thing here because the applications shit, like the ATS, can filter you out if you don't have both. Or like some of them are looking for Spark, some of them are looking for PySpark, right? I'd probably get rid of Pig and Hive, those and MapReduce. These are not necessary anymore. These are all kind of outdated. Airflow is great, Node is great, React's great, D3, React Native, AngularJS, Android SDK, and Django. It's great. I'd probably add Next.js is probably something I would add here. And I'd probably add Databricks, and I'd probably add Snowflake as well. Those are things that I'd probably add, that I've been able to add to my skill set over like the last year and a half. And then you have like freaking databases. Hive, I'd probably get rid of. S3 is not really a database. I even have errors in my own freaking resume. And then I don't know. I'd probably get rid of my certifications. These do not matter anymore. I got these like freaking 10 years ago. So they do. Like, Tableau desktop 9. I bet Tableau's on like desktop freaking 15 or some shit now. It's probably like really far away. But I don't know. That's kind of you have certifications. Gotcha. Yep. 100%. Data expert Discord is Discord community is one of the best. Thank you so much, Namisha. What's your thoughts on adding a lot of keywords in your resume? Because I don't see too many data engineering keywords in your CV. What, didn't you see Spark and PySpark and freaking Hive? What the hell are you talking about? They were all there. That's all. All right. Dude, did this guy just type it out? No, I mean, I know I don't have Azure. I hate Azure. I'm a little bit curious about your IQ. It must be very high. I don't know. I've heard like 140, 135, 140. I'm not like a genius. I'm a smart cookie, but I'm not like the smartest cookie. That's the way I think about it. How do you calculate those the dollars saved on your resume? Because they don't directly give employees those numbers, right? Well, like you can do a lot of things, right? So the $1.5 million a year was based on egress costs. So you can look at like the egress costs of moving data in and out of S3. And you can kind of like understand what is the way that would be calculated. And yeah, some of the numbers are hard to calculate, right? And like sometimes you can't translate them into direct dollar impact. I could, because like they were cloud costs, right? And cloud costs are really great, right? Hey man, congrats for the bootcamp. I was watching the third class like 5 minutes ago. That's really great, Matthias. I'm glad that you're able to do it. What product in GCP should I focus for DE? I feel like this is so obvious. BigQuery. That's it. That's it. I mean, that's like exactly what you need, right? If you just get really good at BigQuery, you will just be a big baller, right? BigQuery, big baller. That's how stuff works, right? So yeah, everyone, just letting you know, like we're still doing Black Friday sales for the freaking Data Expert January Bootcamp. If you want to change your life, you can get in for $1,700 right now, which is the cheapest that you can get in for. And we are running out of seats. Going to be freaking cutting off the seats and the sales here pretty soon. It should be a pretty good time. I'm excited to see what happens. All right, I have a PhD in loading the data. That's good. That's good, Donna. I freaking love it. I love it. Can't wait to finish your bootcamp and finally watch season 2 of Arcane. Yeah, dude. I'm glad that you're putting it off, right? And putting off like the binging of content, and you're able to like focus on my content, because it's like I'm publishing too much content. Like sometimes I'm like, why does data engineering have to be so complicated? Why do I have to publish freaking hours and 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 hours of content? Why can't I just be like one of those data engineering bootcamps that's like, in 2 weeks, I'll teach you everything you need to know, and then you'll be job ready. And I think the reason why I don't do that is because that's a lie, right? That's a lie. I've been going through week 1 videos and can already connect to so many data sets, data patterns I see at Prime Video. That's great. I mean, that's the whole idea, is I built this bootcamp in a way that is structured so that it's meant for like the big tech data engineer. So if you work at Amazon, or you work at Facebook, or you work at Netflix, you work at one of these big tech companies, like the material is going to be even more relevant. It's even more relevant than if you don't work in big tech, right? Because it's like when I built this bootcamp, I thought of like the person who this bootcamp is for it's for 22-year-old Zach. When I joined Facebook in 2016, when I was 22, I built this bootcamp in a way where I'm like, what are the things I needed to learn at Facebook so that I could be more effective? What are the things that would make me a better engineer, right? And that is how I kind of structured this bootcamp, is trying to teach me, right? What is expected from a senior DE in a worldwide company? You need to be able to deliver on complex projects of arbitrary size. So I worked with a senior DE at Airbnb on my team. Her name was Shamal. And her project that she owned was price of every Airbnb in the world, right? Managing that data, right? Just the price of every Airbnb. Like it's a lot and it's complex, right? So like you should be able to manage big, complex projects. And that's how you can really kind of land into stuff and get a lot of stuff, right? Will you remove videos of your bootcamp from the YouTube playlist? Yeah, 100%. January 31st. Get it done. Get it done. You got 2 months. Thanks for the bootcamp. I'm a data scientist. Is it possible to get a remote job from India, US, Canada, and DE? Is it possible? Yes. Share your opinion on crypto. I love crypto. I have BTC and I have freaking ETH, right? For sure. I don't really buy the shit coins. I don't buy like Doge or freaking any of the other ones that are like kind of more meme oriented. Like I think ETH and I think BTC both have a lot of long-term potential. That's why I hold both of them. But I do not believe in like the rest of the market, right? It's just too crazy, right? Did you doing projects with Fabric? No. And is it good for data engineers in the future? Yes. It's like one of those things where it's like, is Microsoft SQL Server good for data engineering? And the answer is yes, but also no, right? Because it's like SQL Server is like the most annoying way, right? Can we join the paid bootcamp once we finish the free one? If you get certified, I will open up some seats, right? I will open up some seats that you can pay for in early January. But that's only for people who get certified because we're almost done with sales here. Like I've made an unbelievable amount of money this month, y'all. It's been the best month of my business ever by far. And so, yeah, it's great. Do I need to solve leak code problems outside free bootcamp to get into FANG? Yes. I don't teach DSA. Like I just don't teach it. You do need to do that. 100%. I teach you everything else. Like I just do not care about DSA because it's like, it comes back to like, I teach the job. I don't teach the interview, right? Because I just think that teaching the interview is a freaking like waste of time. And it's just not something that like everyone loves the interview. And that's how, if I wanted to make a lot more money, what I would do is I'd make a data engineering interview bootcamp where it's just focused on DSA and data modeling and just that, right? And then charge $5,000 and just do that, right? And then I'd be a piece of shit, right? But like, then it would be great, right? Because I would be able to make a lot of money and I could milk you guys. But I don't do that. Because you want to know why I don't do that? Because I want you guys to be good data engineers, not good data engineering interviewers, right? It's different. They're different, right? That's why I freaking go the less profitable way here, right? So that's one of the things you want to be thinking about when you're doing this stuff, right? Do you have any Latin American people on your team? Yeah, for sure. I mean, well, not Latino. I mean, I have Bruno. Bruno teaches DBT. And he's been with the company for like the last 3 boot camps. He's from Brazil. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, for sure. What's the downside of using SQL Server as a data warehouse? It doesn't scale. It's not horizontally scalable. So it's going to choke at a certain amount of data, right? It's the same. SQL Server has the same downside as Postgres, right? Where it's like, it doesn't scale. Like there's going to be a side where it gets too big, right? And you need to move to something like Snowflake or BigQuery or Spark or freaking Trino or just something that is distributed, right? Because that's where SQL Server kind of goes down. And the other downsides is SQL Server is more expensive than Postgres, but they have the same features. So it's like, why use SQL Server when you can just use Postgres to get the same features and it's great, right? Well, this person's like, why is SQL Server bad? It's not bad. It's just expensive and it has the exact same features as Postgres. And Postgres is a lot cheaper. So it's like, why pay Microsoft for something that you can get for free? I think that's my perspective about SQL Server. Is like that. So I have the same opinion about Oracle, by the way. It's not a Microsoft thing. It's just like, if you have a relational database, right, which is a technology that is like 50 years old, there's not very many competitive factors that you can have now because it's so open source now. And that's why Postgres is so great, or MySQL, right? Postgres or MySQL are really great. And that's why, you know, like big tech companies, they do not use SQL Server. Big tech companies do not use Oracle or SQL Server. They use MySQL or Postgres because the licensing fees for freaking SQL Server and for freaking Oracle are so high that they're like, okay, we're going to move that, right? If we take your bootcamp, will we benefit from a kind of networking for future opportunities? 100%. If you take the paid bootcamp, you will get access to a mentor, right? And that would be awesome, right? Put the deadline to February 14th. No. Let's see here. Hey, Zach, thank you for the bootcamp. Content is lit. How do you think your patterns translate to classic logistic companies that have a lot of SAP data and use a lot of Power BI? I mean, I don't know, man. Like, you want to, like, in those cases, just stick with more of the traditional, like, so like day 2 dimensional data modeling, like the SCD, that one, and then the day 1 of fact, like the day 1 fact data modeling and day 2 dimensional data modeling. Those are going to be the most applicable to everybody. That's going to be because those are like the standard meat and potatoes way of doing data modeling. And so that would be the way to be thinking about it. Good morning, sir. Zach Morris Wilson. Thank you, Christine. Really appreciate it. Postgres versus BigQuery or any cloud data warehouse for warehouse needs. They're different. Postgres isn't horizontally scalable. BigQuery is horizontally scalable. Postgres is going to be has some stronger guarantees, freaking around like quality, and I'm sure BigQuery probably is ACID compliant, right? Do you mind if we form a LinkedIn group in Discord? Go ahead. Like we can make a LinkedIn freaking thing for sure. I wanna have more like a LinkedIn creator channel. We can add that for sure. That should be very easy. I'll add that like literally after this live, so we can do that. So yeah, just letting everyone know one more time, we are doing dataexpert.io sales. You can get 30% off Black Friday. Goes till the 2nd of December. Should be a pretty good time if you want to join the paid bootcamp or the subscription product. The subscription product is another one where you can get in for a little bit cheaper. You can get the subscription product for like $1,000, or like you can get the monthly subscription for like $140. You can like really try out some of that the really good paid content, right? Are data engineers and data analytics doing the same role? Definitely not. How necessary is it to learn how to build API and Flask and Django for a data engineer? Not very important. That's a full stack engineer. It's full stack engineer technology. I mean, I think it's worth it though. I think it's one of those things that like, if you are going to learn full stack, you will get better, because I freaking did that. What different contents are covered in the paid bootcamp? Everything in the cloud. So Airflow is going to be covered in the cloud. You can deploy stuff in the cloud. We're going to be on Databricks in the cloud. We're going to be on Snowflake in the cloud. It's going to be a lot of that, right? Can you briefly talk to the benefits of a data engineering manager completing your bootcamps, both free and paid version? So if you're a manager, you'll be able to like see good design patterns, right? Like you'll be able to suggest good patterns to your data engineers, like a lot of good architecture stuff. You'll also be able to understand just have a deeper understanding of data engineering best practices that you might not already know, and be able to like connect things with business value. I'd say that those are going to be the big things for data engineering managers, that like, because it's going to be that architecture side of it, right? Because senior and staff data engineers get value out of these boot camps as well, right? Do you think DE is possible for beginners, like people who are just getting into tech or undergrad? No. Like just learn SQL and Python first. Just do it. I need to design a data architecture from scratch, and I'm honestly feeling a bit lost. Can you give me some advice? I have no idea. Like I need way more information. Like, cause you got to understand, like when you're doing a data architecture, the architecture should match the business requirements, right? For example, Uber is a company that is very real-time focused, right? So they are a Kappa architecture company. So they're a very Kafka focused company that processes data in real time. Whereas companies like Airbnb doesn't need that real-time component as much. So they're more of a Lambda architecture company, where Lambda is more of a combination of batch and streaming. It's batch and real-time pipelines. So like if you're building a data architecture from scratch, I would need way more information about who's it for, what's going on, like why do you need this, right? What, like, I'm in a different time zone. Can I attend the paid bootcamp offline at my pace? Yeah, for sure. All the bootcamp material is published, right? Is published, and you can watch it offline. You can still get certified that way as well. 100%. Like, especially for people in Europe. Europe is really bad for the bootcamp because it's like 2 a.m. Asia's pretty good, and America has a pretty good time for the bootcamp, but definitely it's rough for Europe. What language is best for Flink? Java. Again, I hate the word best. Best is a stupid word, because it's, if you're talking about best for performance, best for like the fastest running pipelines, then you can have that's going to be the I'm trying to say here, that is Java, right? But maybe you have a data scientist who needs to update a real-time pipeline, and that's where PyFlink would be better, because it's more accessible, right? Because that data scientist doesn't want to learn Java. So that's where it comes back to like, what is best depends. There's no such thing. Like, if there's anything that you can learn from me from this whole damn live, right, is that there's no such thing as best. Best does not exist, right? It's just for that, right? Let's see here. Could you explain how the free access to AWS bit of the paid bootcamp works? Is that access to build any projects at all? Yeah, you got it. You can deploy. You get a key. You get an AWS key, and you can build an Airflow pipeline. You can do whatever the hell you want. 100%. Like just don't mine Bitcoin. Like I am keeping track of that stuff to like see who's like freaking like doing stuff to like make sure I'm not like racking up a huge cloud bill. But yeah, 100%. You'll get access to Glue, you get access to Airflow, you get access to Iceberg, right? And you can build whatever you want, right? Is this session recorded? Need to leave. Yeah, 100%. This is all going to be published on YouTube right after it's over. Right? When is day 4 of the bootcamp? Day 4 is already up. It's week 2. There's only 3 days in week 1, and then there's week 2, which has 3 days, which is fact data modeling. It's all one video. It's like this 4-hour video that's really long. Could you list some tools and tech stacks in data engineering space that are likely to remain relevant for the years to come? Spark, Iceberg, Kafka, Airflow, fucking, I don't know, LLM. Like, thanks, Zach. Even your free bootcamp is the best from other paid bootcamps available in the marketplace. Love your teaching and energy, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm trying to do that. Can you tell us about your first job? Yeah, sure. I got a job when I graduated. So I graduated in 2014, and I had 2 offers on the table. I could either go work for the government. So I had this offer to go work for the government doing like C++, and then there's the other one I did was working for a data science startup doing Tableau and data science stuff. And I decided to go with the data science startup, even though it paid a lot less. And then my first job was I built Tableau dashboards for a healthcare company called Savvy Sherpa. And we did a lot of different interesting things around like how to help drug reps sell better and make more money, like by talking to doctors and stuff like that. Right? Do you use the dynamic frames on Glue or just use Spark? Dynamic frames is, yeah, for sure. We use everything with Glue. We literally deploy everything in the cloud. That's what I'm trying to say, y'all. Like the paid bootcamp is awesome. It's awesome, right? It gives you freaking cloud access. Like you could freaking build whatever you want. Is 2 hours a day enough to absorb the bootcamp? Well, yes, especially like because there'll be some days where you're watching videos and some days where you're doing homework. And if you have 2 hours a day, that should be enough. It really depends on like how much previous knowledge you have. Because if you have a lot of previous knowledge, then 2 hours a day is definitely more than enough. If you don't know SQL and Python, 2 hours a day is not enough. You probably need more like 4. You have to like really dedicate like 20 hours a week to it. How different is AWS Glue versus Databricks? Like, can you do most of the same stuff on each, but Databricks is more for ML? So Spark is just way better. Like the user experience for Spark on Glue is not great, right? It's not great. But the user experience for Spark on Databricks is really good, right? So it's very easy to access the Spark UI, very easy to access like the performance metrics and the explain plans. And like, it's very good in that way. You're right that you can do everything on both. They literally like they do that. Like Databricks does the same thing, right? Databricks just freaking is a wrapper around AWS, and Databricks is going to spin up essentially Spark EMR. It spins up Spark EMR, but now there's serverless Databricks, which is really cool. I like serverless Databricks a lot. I think that that's another thing that is kind of a nice benefit of Databricks is you have that serverless architecture that is really, really powerful. So I think that that's a thing to be thinking about. What else is there? ML, there's a lot more stuff with ML on Databricks, 100%. And Databricks is kind of shifting more into that space. They really want to be more of like an ML focused company. Will I be able to submit assignments in free bootcamp? Yeah, 100%. It's all auto graded by AI. Let me put the freaking link here. So you can join the free bootcamp by, oh, damn it. There we go. Join the free bootcamp by going to bootcamp.techcreator.io, and you can submit homework and you will get feedback. It's really good feedback, and the AI is pretty good. Right? Is big data analytics worth it? Yes. So here's a perspective for you. So between 2018 and 2023, so those 5 years, right? In those 5 years, I made almost $3 million. $3 million doing data analytics, big data analytics, right? So is it worth it? I don't know. I made $3 million in 5 years. So is that worth it? Probably, right? I mean, it's a lot of money. Like, so obviously your results may vary because I feel like I got very lucky, but yeah. What languages do companies usually use for Spark? Python. Don't use Java. If you use Java, that's just bad. Like Python or Scala, just use Python or Scala. Java is like super annoying for Spark. Like it's getting better, but it's kind of annoying still. I would not use that. Most people, it's like 80% of companies use Python, 15% of companies use Scala, and 5% use Java. That's roughly speaking the breakdown of like how companies use Spark. Why does it feel like traditional data warehousing is forgotten? Keeping it stupid simple with SQL Server and stored procedures plus Kimball and OLAP cubes. For many, this is more than enough as a start. I mean, it's more than enough even if you have like 1 million users. 100%. Like, I think one of the things that's happening is the like Databricks and Snowflake are to blame here a little bit because they kind of like everyone needs to be in a data lake. I think that that's one of the things. I think one of the other things though is that like in my company, I have a data lake, right? And I kind of do both data lake and transactional stuff. I have Postgres for transactions, and then I have data lake for my analytics because I don't like running analytics against the production database because I find that freaking a lot, right? So that's going to be the way to do it, right? But like, I think you're totally right that like, that's why my bootcamp covers Kimball. It covers OLAP cubes and it covers it even covers Spark is going to cover like UDFs and stored procedures, right? Will Rust be important in the short term? I don't know what this means. Like in data engineering or like in everything? I mean, it's already important, right? Because Polars is already a rewrite, right? Polars is a really fast freaking Python wrapper, right? And it's really good, right? I don't think Rust for data engineers is that important. I think that Python libraries that wrap Rust is important. So like if you can learn Python libraries that wrap Rust, you're going to have a lot better job than if you do it the other way around. Have you ever been curious enough to dive deep into the core of databases, like reading research papers to understand why something like MongoDB's cursor.skip is slow? Maybe probably the oddest. Like, I mean, for sure. I mean, if you dive deep into the underlying architecture, that's how you can really understand how to make things really fast. So if you like understand one layer below, that's really nice. Like, I think that's the thing that with Spark that's interesting, right? Is if you can understand RDDs and partitioning and you understand like the layer underneath, like you don't just know data frames, but you know RDDs and partitioning, you know, the layer below a data frame, then you could freaking do that, right? When did Azure become the top dog for in-demand data engineering jobs? It's not. It's not. Like, I disagree with this statement. I don't know. Like, I feel like if you work at Netflix, you're going to be on AWS and they pay $500K. If you work at Airbnb, you're going to be on AWS and they pay $600K. Right? And it's like, I don't know what you're talking about, bro. Like freaking, what company uses Azure? What big tech company uses Azure? That's like, what, Microsoft? Cool. That's probably it. All right. How big data analytics differ from DE in terms of the tools they use and the work in general? They're very, I don't know. Like, are you talking data analytics versus DE or big data analytics versus DE? This is like a weird question. These are the same freaking jobs, dude. Like, I was a software dev and studied data science for my master's. Now I'm doing your DE bootcamp. My goal is to be a full stack data scientist. What do you think? I think that's a great goal. Because then if you know full stack, you know data science, and you know pipeline, you know those three, you are a fierce beast of a human being, right? You are the most technical beast of a human being, and there's no data project that can stop you. Like, you can deliver on whatever you want to deliver on. I wish I was better at data science because that would make I would be in that same bucket. I don't consider myself a full stack data scientist because I'm too weak in like the ML area, like the ML like predictive analytics area. I'm not good enough there to like consider myself that. But yeah, be the way to do it. Would you mind sharing the Discord community link once more? It seems the previous one has expired. Just join the bootcamp, bootcamp.techcreator.io, and you'll get an invite from there. Is there a way to pay for your bootcamp using Afterpay? No. Afterpay doesn't allow courses. They don't allow courses. They only do like physical products and stuff like that. They do not do courses. Klarna is the only one that you can use. You can use Klarna though. Klarna is a way that you can do installment payments. Highly recommend checking that out. Klarna is not available everywhere though. I think Afterpay is. I wish we could use Afterpay, but that you can blame Afterpay for that because they don't like courses. What's your opinion on data vault and anchor modeling? I mean, I think that that's like a great way to like have consistency. Like, data vault is like really leans into the idea of idempotency, right? Where it's like, I want to be able to recreate all my pipelines at any historical moment in time. And I think that's a really cool thing that data vault's all about, right? I like that about it. I haven't really used data vault very much. I use data vault a tiny bit at Airbnb to do like the availability inputs, where I built this crazy table that had like, it was like 7 structs. That was the whole table. It was just 7 structs. And I'm like, dude, this is the weirdest freaking table I've ever built. But like, it was to model kind of in that data vault kind of pattern, right? And I think that that's definitely a way to go, right? Thoughts on Informatica Data Center as an ETL tool? I don't like Informatica. I'm sorry. Airflow or Dagster for DE orchestration, it doesn't matter. I don't know. I just feel like Airflow, Dagster, Mage, Prefect, Databricks workflows. Guess what? They all are cron and they all have dependencies. Great. Why is Airflow more used? Because it was first. They all freaking are the same. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't feel like there's that much of a difference between any of these. Like, the differentiating factors between Airflow, Prefect, Dagster, and Mage are so small that like it doesn't matter that much. So like there's only so many ways you can build a DAG. You know what I mean? Like, and so like people who have like a big strong opinion here confuse me because I'm like, okay, congratulations, you can put your tasks in a different way. Sorry for asking this silly question, but is there any chance to pay the bootcamp in installments? Yeah, you can use Klarna. Klarna is available for sure. You can get 30% off right now, and you can pay with Klarna, and then you can do it in 3 installments, 100%. Could you provide a brief overview of the competition between platforms like Databricks, Snowflake, Azure, and Iceberg, and share insights on which might be preferable? I'm not going to give an opinion on which is preferable because I think that that's a dumb freaking thing to say because like I only look at data and I look at what's adopted. I don't have opinions on like very much else besides like who is using what, right? So Databricks, Snowflake, Azure, and Iceberg. So Databricks and Snowflake are the cloud providers that are really trying to go head to head in AI now. They've kind of shifted. They've shifted a little bit away from the kind of like data engineering roots, and they're really trying to lean more into freaking that, right? I don't know why you don't have AWS on this list because AWS is big here as well. AWS, Azure, and GCP are just platforms for Databricks and Snowflake to kind of run on for the most part. Then that's going to be the way to think about it. Is data engineering relevant to transitioning into machine learning? Yes and no, because 50% of machine learning projects fail because of bad quality data. So if you don't know how to give create high quality data that has guarantees, then you're going to suffer. Like your machine learning projects are going to suffer. And so in that way, it is important. I think there are the overlap is not as big as you would think, right? You definitely need to know a lot more about like MLOps, like deployment of models, freaking like the CI/CD, how to test models, right? How to freaking train models, how to look at like the power of a model, how to look at like the freaking have you used like a confusion matrix, that kind of stuff? Like there's a lot of other things in machine learning that are just not relevant in data engineering at all. And so like those are things that like you need to be focusing on in machine learning. But there is the whole idea of like you need good quality data to make good models. And that piece of data engineering is very important for machine learning engineering. So like that piece I would say, right? Can you suggest if the source data structure continuously change, surely it would affect the staging container? I mean, if the source data is changing a lot, you just need to use a flexible data model, right? So use like a JSON as your model or freaking a map. I love map string. So like, because then you don't have to add new columns all the time. And then because it's like, then because you're suffering, right? You're just going to suffer a lot if you don't freaking, if you do that. So like, I would say that that's the big thing that you want to be thinking about when you're like, if you're working with a data source that's constantly changing, right? Lenny Artles is a mentor. Yeah, he's he's like one of my favorite mentors on the platform. He's a really smart man. Like Lenny's one of my favorite people, like for sure. Yeah, for sure. If you get certified in the paid bootcamp, you can potentially have Lenny as a mentor for sure. Is Python Pandas still being used in companies? Pandas is one of the most widely used libraries in the world. Of course it's still being used. Like freaking hype is so weird, right? Where like companies are like, ooh, Polars is just faster. So now everyone has moved to Polars, but that's not actually how it works, right? There's still people who are using COBOL and Fortran, right? Because they adopted it 30 years ago and like they just don't want to migrate. So they're like, we're just going to keep using COBOL and Fortran. And it's like they're stuck in that tech debt hell. What's your view on cloud DE knowledge? I'm having solid understanding of Azure. Do I also need to focus on AWS and GCP? It's all the same shit, dude. It's all the same shit. If you learn how data works in the cloud, it doesn't matter if you know AWS, GCP, or Azure. It's the same. It's like, do you know blob storage S3 freaking, it's like blob storage S3 or freaking object storage. It's like Google object storage, blob storage, and S3. Those are the same technologies. I don't know if you knew that. They're the same thing. Literally the same thing. And so it's like, do you need to like focus on another cloud? No, just get good at one and then you're good. Right? I'm having issues paying the bootcamp. With whom should I talk? Or just hit me up on LinkedIn. Hit me up on LinkedIn and it'll be great. Everyone wants to be Zach Wilson these days, but no one wants to put in these 80 to 90 hours a week. Yeah, or be on a live for 2 fucking hours, right? That's what I'm almost there. We're almost at 2 hours on the live. This is great. When hiring a great DE, what would you look for? What makes someone stand out? Their awareness of the business, their technicals. Are they deeply technical? Do they freaking know the layers underneath? Can I talk to them about Spark for a while and see like if they actually know what the hell's going on with Spark? Because if they actually know what's going on with Spark, that's a freaking really good sign. Like I'd say that's right. What's different between premise S3 like MinIO versus cloud AWS S3? I mean, like MinIO is just like it freaking like it's just managed like by your computers, right? And it doesn't have the same guarantees, right? It's like you don't get the same resilience guarantees, because it's like on your freaking laptop or on your server. And so like you have to manage that. And it's like, imagine like if your server gets hit by a hurricane, then you just lose your data, right? But if it's on S3, like they have like the number of like backup plans and resilience planning that they've done on AWS is kind of insane. Like it's like they have like 3 copies of your data everywhere. So it's like, unless like Oregon, Virginia, and Sweden all freaking got hit by a hurricane or earthquake at the same time, then you might lose your data. But like the probability of that is like pretty much 0, right? That's what they do is that's why they have data centers all around the world, right? To prevent like disasters from destroying everyone's data. So how do you design a pipeline to make sure the serving layer remains unaffected in case of like an incomplete ingestion? This is where you need to use write, audit, publish. We will be covering this in the bootcamp. I just freaking need to like make that content. It's like, it sucks because I had this really good like Astronomer cloud IDE content for the bootcamp, but then Astronomer deprecated their cloud IDE. So we can't use that content anymore because it's freaking not available. It's freaking weird. It's so weird because you can't follow along, and I'm not going to publish content. I'm not going to publish labs that you can't follow along. Is modafinil any good if I'm working in DE? I like modafinil. It's like baby Adderall. I know it's like kind of good. It's like a little bit better than coffee, a little bit worse than Adderall. That's where I would, if I put it in like a freaking category. Can you guide us on how to start learning AWS services? Just learn S3 first. Play around with the freaking files. Like learn how to put a file on S3. Learn how to like read a file from S3. That's gonna be your first step. Is gonna be that. Then maybe go after that, like pick up Glue, learn how to like run a job on Glue. That's not too bad as well, because then you can just have a job that like reads data from S3 or reads data from an API and dumps it to S3. And then after that, you can maybe learn about like catalogs and Iceberg and stuff like that. And really, you can get really far with Glue and S3. You'd be surprised at how far you can actually get with Glue and S3. When will the all access subscription include content from this month's analytics engineering bootcamp? Probably at the beginning of the year. I might be able to get it in December, but like, yeah, like in the next 4 or 5 weeks, let's say that. Like it could be sooner, could be later. Right? Between Snowflake and Databricks, which one do you prefer? I don't prefer. They both. It's kind of like saying, do you prefer the fork or the spoon? Which one do you prefer, fork or spoon? Right. I love that question because it's like, I don't prefer the fork or the spoon. They're different tools for different purposes, right? I love Snowflake's usability. I love how you can just like get in there and write SQL. It's really quick. And I love Databricks' like full featuredness. They have like such a wide variety of features, right? Completing free bootcamp lab practice on a regular basis is good enough to build deep DE skills. I think so. The free bootcamp is built in that way. There's like so many people have like taken this bootcamp and freaking gotten a lot of really good value from it. So like highly recommend that, right? Jesse's over here. He's like, spoon gang. Let's go, Jesse. Jesse, you should follow Jesse on LinkedIn. He's one of my favorite students. He's one of the few students who got the superb certificate, because like in each bootcamp, only like 4%, like 3 or 4% of the students get the superb, and Jesse's one of them. So definitely check him out on LinkedIn. He's a great guy. Might be a silly question, but are there different kinds of data engineering? What kinds of DEs mostly use Python? Analytics-focused DEs are more Python, and then even regular DEs. The PySpark is a very in-demand technology, right? So it's like if you know PySpark, you're going to be able to do really good with data engineering. Do you want to provide vetted talent in the future to other companies or be closer to the job application process of some people? Kind of. Like, I know that like if I did that, I would make an unbelievable amount of money because I'm placing hundreds of people, right? I'm already placing hundreds of people in jobs. And it's like, okay, if I place someone in a job and I get 10% of their first year salary, I get like 10K or 15K from placing someone in a job. That's great money. That's actually better money than the way I do my boot camps right now. Right. So like in that way, I think it's great. I just don't like the interviews. I don't like teaching the interview. I don't like interview prep. Like I personally do not like teaching that content. So like I've thought about that as like another leg of my business that somebody else owns. That like I teach more of like the core like data engineering skills and the like job success skills, and then I pass it to someone else who teaches more of like the interview success skills, and then they have more of that like recruiter network and job placement opportunities and stuff like that. I've thought about doing that, and I've really tried a couple times this year to get that set up. But then like when I try to get that set up, my energy just drops. My energy drops a lot, and I don't think that's good. I want to be focusing on where my energy is high, right? Even if there's good money there, it's like I want to focus where my energy is high, because that's where freaking like that's how I can keep building and getting more, right? What if yearly sub and data expert in some countries and their money is too high? In Iran, it is worth like a house cost. It's not a house cost, bro. It's not like it's $1,000. It's not house is not $1,000 in Iran. Like, okay, Zach, based on your experience, do you think that the DE is more difficult than SWE? No. The DE interview is easier than the SWE interview in my experience. Like, because the data structures is easier. That's why I like the DE interview, because it's like the freaking data structures around is easier. Would Kafka be your top choice to go to when considering scalability for building a batch streaming pipeline? Is there any better alternative? Kafka's great. Kafka's really great. I like Kafka a lot. Like that would probably be my number one choice. Yeah. Do you have any thoughts on fundamentals of data engineering and the relevant course by Joe Reese? I'm in the deep learning course. I'm actually in that deep learning course by Joe. I love that book. It's the number one book I recommend for data engineers to like really skill up. So I highly recommend checking it out. Just letting everyone know who might have joined, I'm currently doing Black Friday sales on dataexpert.io. We are going to be launching a bootcamp in January 6th. It'll be kind of like the New Year, New Me bootcamp. So from January 6th to the middle of February, we'll be covering Databricks, Snowflake. We're going to be covering freaking cloud. We're going to be covering freaking data modeling, a little bit more in-depth look at data modeling, in-depth look at Iceberg, in-depth look like we might cover Delta Lake. I'm more on the fence about that. I'm more about covering Iceberg, but we'll see. That's one of the pieces of the curricula that I will be looking at in the next couple of weeks. But it should be a good time. There's going to be a capstone project. It's going to be great. DevOps interview versus DE interview. Which one do you think is easier? It depends. I think the DE interview is easier because guess what? I've been doing data engineering for fucking 10 years. So the DevOps interview would be harder, because it's like they're going to ask some stupid bash question, and I'm going to be like, I don't know how LS expands the star operator. I don't know, bro. Or like they're going to be like they're going to ask some like super niche thing about like freaking CentOS, or what should you use CentOS or Ubuntu or freaking like whatever other Arch freaking Linux distribution. And it's like, I don't know, bro. Like freaking, I know freaking pipeline, right? So it's like comes back to like, it really depends on what your skills are. It's not which one's easier. That's why for me, the data engineering interview is easier because I have the data skills. For other people, software engineers who are really good at data structures might find the data engineering interview harder. Can we build end-to-end data engineering real project using only one source, only open source? Yeah, I mean, you can do end-to-end engineering real project using only open source. Yeah, 100%. Why not? Just use Docker, dude. Just use Docker, Airflow, Spark, done. Have you implemented AI into pipelines? 100%. I implement AI into pipelines, like not very much. It's mostly like embeddings. Embeddings are the main thing I do right now. That's like the easy thing to like add, documents to like a vector database and like chunk them into embeddings and then load them into a vector database for RAG purposes, right? That's going to be the main thing that I use them for right now, because they're not as good for doing like lookups because they're freaking non-deterministic, which I don't like. But yeah, again, everyone, remember like dataexpert.io. We're doing a Black Friday sale. There's a couple more seats left, not very many. And should be pretty interesting to see what happens here. But let's see here. Rob Dolby, love your honesty and energy, bro. For sure. I like to just give the very frank answers to people. Like I know for some people it rubs them the wrong way because they might think I'm cold or freaking mean or something like that. But it's not even that. It's just like, I don't know. Like I just say things how I see them. Like it's kind of autistic, kind of like not as smooth, right? But like you never know, right? So I have like freaking like 4 more minutes, and then we'll go from there. And then In your experience, what are the key challenges when scaling data pipelines in cloud environment, and how do you recommend balancing performance and data reliability? Well, like, I mean, hopefully performance and data reliability come together, right? I mean, they shouldn't be a trade-off. Reliability should be there, right? How many seats in total? Like 150. I'm going between 125 and 150. I mean, a lot of those remaining seats are going to be for the for the free boot camp, like, because there's going to be people who do the whole free boot camp, and at the end they're going to be certified and they have grinded and they have shown that they really are interested in the paid boot camp just by grinding through the free content. And so there's going to be some open seats at the end there. And then there's like, I mean, we're almost there. I mean, we're at like 115 right now or something like that. Like in terms of like total number of seats that we have for the paid boot camp. So yeah, we're getting there for sure. It should be a good time. I'm not taking as many people. Like in V4, I took 400, and that was too many. That's why I raised prices a little bit. I raised prices, and I am taking fewer students because it will make the experience better. Because then it won't be so chaotic, right? Because when I did 400 in a paid boot camp, it was a lot. It was insane. It was too much, right? So, do you think it's a good idea to start as a data analyst for a first job, even though I want to eventually become a data engineer, or should I keep looking? That's a good. I mean, it depends. I think that's probably a good start. I did data analyst first, so I think like I did like a Tableau visualization job, and then I got a data engineering job. So like, yeah, I mean, that's a good path forward. That's probably a good way to go. Where you walk before you run, right? How can I develop a mindset to learn new things, like anything, even if you hate it, like full stack development, without being overly picky or overthinking ways to avoid it? Like, part of it is just doing the emotional work, right? So part of it is like recognizing that like when you are approaching something unfamiliar, right? So imagine you're a monkey in a tent, right? So if you're a monkey in a tent and you see a snake in your tent, right? That snake is unfamiliar, right? And that snake is unfamiliar, and you're scared, and you're like, oh my God, this is a threat, right? And because unfamiliar things are frustrating and annoying, and they feel like a threat. That's like how unfamiliar, like our brains are kind of designed that way to get that stuff, right? So if you can kind of recognize like that the unfamiliar is actually a thing to embrace. If that frustration is something that you can just enjoy, right? You can get through the process of like, you don't avoid the frustration, you embrace it. So you got to understand, like I'm frustrated all the time. I'm sure some of y'all saw me on the live, the very first, like the free bootcamp launch live. You guys probably saw me being very frustrated. There was a moment there where I told many people to fuck off, like on the live, right? And it was not good. It was not my best look. It was definitely like I was super ugly in that spot, right? I did not put my best foot forward because I was very frustrated, and because I was trying new things. I was trying out like brand new stuff and trying to do something new. And like, it was something that I hated and like I was avoiding too, right? And like, I am in that spot all the time. And like, and I fall on my face in front of all of you every day. That's my whole point, is if I can fail in front of you guys, that means I'm trying hard enough. That means I'm actually pushing forward, and I'm actually building the way that I should be building, and I'm reaching my true potential. Because if I'm not putting myself in a place where I can fail, then I'm not reaching far enough, right? And that's and you want to be able to be in that spot where like you want to be shooting for the moon, right? And you'll at least land in the stars. Right? Did you use Docker a lot in your previous roles? Yep. You have a large follower base. Thought about building your own platform with other creators to provide more real life opportunities to build stuff, so these followers can show companies that have real life experience with data sources that are live and large. That's literally what my cloud bootcamp is about. Like, it's not super large freaking data yet, but like we're getting there. I don't know. Like, it's hard for me to generate super large data, because it's like at that point I would need to raise prices for the bootcamp, right? It comes back to like, if the data sets are really, really large, I can't charge 1,700. I'd have to charge like 10,000, right? Because just the freaking cloud bill alone would freaking be a lot, right? But yeah, Jesse's right. So we have freaking Tech Creator, techcreator.io. That's what the bootcamp's all about, right? Like, you see, bootcamp.techcreator.io is one of many platforms that you can use to freaking like bootcamp.techcreator.io is the free bootcamp. But I also have fullstackexpert.io. I have dataexpert.io. I have linkedinexpert.io. And I'm going to be helping other people set up their own new academies and helping other creators build their own academies. If you're interested in that, send me a DM on LinkedIn, and we can see what happens. We can see where we can go from there. I think that would be a very fun and interesting thing to work on. I'm definitely going to be launching that platform. Is the skills needed for DE and MLOps highly related? If yes, which of them should I learn about first? Feature engineering, master data management, data modeling. Those three. Just do those. If you do those, like the number of roles that open up to you, if you can just do those three, is insane. Because it's like, if you have good features, right? If you have good features, then your machine learning is going to do better. Obviously, you need to learn more about like model selection and like, should you use random forest or an LLM or freaking linear regression or gradient boosted trees or freaking XGBoost or freaking what? There's like so many. The number of freaking possible ML algorithms that you can pick is insane, and like they are highly related. But like those ML skills are definitely the ML ops is good, and then like I guess the other things in ML ops is you need to like do like model monitoring and model like deployment and stuff like that, which are more like software engineering skills that are like, it's interesting because model monitoring and model deployment are actually very similar to like deploying like a full stack application, right? If you're deploying a website or deploying a freaking server or an app or something like that, it'd be great. Have you been threatened just because of what you do? I hope not. I mean, that's a good question. I mean, there's been people who have like told me like, who have like bullied me and tried to tell me to shut the fuck up or like tell me to like, yo, like this is not good. I haven't been like violent. I feel like I haven't been like, threatened with violence. I feel like that's one of the things that I'm lucky about. I feel like that's something that is really good about like I don't know, being a man. I feel like that's like that happens with women all the time. And I think that that's one of the things that like we need to do better as a species is to treat women with more respect in that regard. Because like I feel for me as a creator, I haven't had that, but literally every female creator I know has experienced like death threats, right? So it's like it's kind of crazy. Have you find in your experience how to monitor Kafka stream lineage on metadata monitoring tool like Apache Atlas or any other? Like you have to do sampling. Like this is a very complicated thing, right? Where it's like the lineage, like it really depends on like, so the job should register, right? So you're like, if you have a job that's reading from Kafka, it should register what it's reading and where it's outputting to. And so you have some sort of registration there. Like Atlas can be a part of that, but like, yeah, that would be the main things I think about. So I just want to call out one more time because I'm about to end the stream here. Black Friday sales are going for the next couple of days. You can get them. You can go to dataexpert.io to get a good Black Friday discount, 30% off. And I'm really excited to see you guys there. I think it'll be really awesome. And so if you want to show up for that, I think that you would be able to really change your life in a very impactful and awesome way. And so, yeah, I hope to see you there. And thank you so much for coming to this live stream today. This is like a very, very long live stream.